I put the work in, so I mean, like, it just come naturally. And then my team trusts me to do what I do, and the coaching staff trusts me to do what I do too. So I mean, when they trust you and you got everybody behind you, then you wouldn't have to worry about anything. And I was out there having fun, and I was just doing what it took to help my team win the game.
What did you see during that stretch? I think you went for 16 in that 6-minute stretch there in the second half. What did you see where you kind of thought, okay, now I just gotta go.
I wouldn't really say it was that. I was just like, at halftime, Coach Shrewsberry just told us like we gotta lock in and fight. And when he said that, all of us, like, not just me, like the whole starting five, like, we went out that second half and we just showed fight. And we got a lot of stops on the defensive end, and it allowed me to get going, and it allowed me to get my teammates going too. So it was a team thing.
Markus, you got the loudest cheer of anybody in the pregame introductions, and that cheer kind of continued all through the night. What was that like?
I get it because I'm from here, so I mean, it wasn't really something crazy to me, but I mean, it was pretty cool. It was a really good experience.
Julian, down the stretch, you guys held them scoreless until the last basket. Could you speak to just the progress that you guys have made defensively? Specifically, what areas do you feel like you guys have improved since you first got together?
I think since we first got together, we locked in on like different actions, like different Zoom actions and things we'll see throughout the season, and just repping them out every night. And I think that's what's prepared us for games like today. Like you see, they ran a lot of sets every time down, and I think we were pretty prepared to see every one of them. So,
Markus, what's your perspective on that?
I mean, like he said, like Coach Shrewsberry prepare us every day at practice. Like it's not a lot of teams it's not doing what we're doing at practice. And Coach Shrewsberry is a really good coach. Like he's a great coach, and he prepares us the right way. And just like he prepares us great, and it showed tonight.
For both of you guys, what adjustment or what was Coach Shrewsberry's message to you guys at halftime, and what adjustments did you guys make coming out of the break?
Honestly, when we were in a break, he told us to just get stops, take our time and just get stops. And I feel like when we all came together that second half, we started to get a lot of stops. We stopped them from scoring for a long time, and it showed. And that's what it's pretty much.
Julian, can you talk a little bit about what it's like going from one school with high academic standards to another school with very high academic standards and playing athletics for them?
Yeah, it's hard, like, just having to be in the classroom every day, trying to get that done, and then practice, long practices, and going back doing homework. But I think being a junior now, I think I got the experience to be able to figure out the little tricks I could take and do throughout school, so.
Julian, you played quite a bit of basketball. What did you learn about a team with the way you guys fought and clawed and found a way to win this game tonight?
Yeah, I feel like this is just the beginning for us. We beat a good team tonight, and I think we just got to go back and keep working. I think we showed what we are capable of and what we can do better, and hopefully continue to do throughout the season. So.
And not just for Markus, but what Booth did as well. And again, you played a lot of basketball for a couple of freshmen to do that. What does it say about those guys?
Yeah, those guys are like two of the hardest working guys out there, night in and night out. Everyone is hard working, but those guys they earn it. Like, they put in the work, so it's just work, their work showing. So,
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Markus, is there any adjustment without Keba?
Yeah, we missed him a lot, but you can't discredit Zona. Like, Zona played really good minutes down in the stretch second half. He had a really good layup to put us up, and he played great defense. So Zona played good, but we also missed Keba. But I mean, as a team, we fought, and Keba's gonna be back with us in a couple weeks.
Julian, you guys went for 90 against Xavier in the exhibition last week. When it's not as pretty like it was tonight, what did you learn about yourselves? Were you just happy to just get in there and grind the way you did?
Yeah, like you said, just getting there and grind. I think it starts on the defensive end, and I think we all understand that. And we all have a good understanding of that. It starts on the defensive end, and so we just take that as our lead and let the rest follow.
For both of you guys, what were some of the offensive issues with ball movement early in the game, and how were you able to get some of this corrected later?
Yeah, they did a lot of stuff that we haven't seen yet. I think it was a good experience today, but they did a lot of stuff that we definitely haven't seen. So just having to slow down, they kind of sped us up. So just having to slow down and realize we could still get to things we wanted to get to. just like Fat getting open and a lot of other guys getting open. So, yeah.
Honestly, we came out. You could tell like we were all excited, and when we're all excited, we're timid and like we're anxious to get a shot up. And I feel like that's for every team. That's for every team. First game, especially with 2 freshmen playing, and I feel like it got like that early. But I mean, we got it together. We got the ball moving, and we got stuff going. And like he said, like the defense end, like we got stops, and when we got stops, we were able to come down and convert and get a bucket.
Julian, you know, based on playing Big Ten competition, that it's not always going to be this easy. Well, it wasn't quite easy, but what can you tell the freshmen like Markus, like Harry, about what it's like playing these major conference schools later in the season?
Yeah, I feel like I'll harp to them, the freshmen, that it's just early right now. So the success right now is great, and just keep working because it's only going to get harder from here. And that's pretty much it. But I think we'll be ready. I think they'll be ready too.
For both you guys, when you guys are down early, who's the leader in the timeouts other than coach?
I try to be as vocal as I can, and then we got Keba in there. So me and Keba, and then I feel like just everybody pitches in, but yeah, pretty much me and Keba, and then everybody else pitches in. I think it's a great team effort. Like you hear everyone the whole time.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I talked to our guys in the locker room, and I just said it on the radio too. Winning's hard, man. Winning's hard. Like I've been a part of teams that have lost a lot. I've been a part of teams that have won a lot. So when we walk in that locker room, no matter what the score is, no matter how you played, how much you played, man, you celebrate winning. Because everybody out there's 300, I don't even know anymore. I was going to say 365. There's probably 370 something. 362. All those teams are trying to win. And the way college basketball is shaped now is, I looked at Niagara's roster and I pulled it up weeks ago, and I'm like, fifth year, senior, transfer. And I'm like, we're playing, young kids against these older guys. And they did a great job. They executed. Greg Paulus is a good coach, man. They run system, and they slowed it down to a crawl, and they executed, and they made us guard. And I thought we had some guys rise to the challenge when we needed to get some tough stops late.
Micah, you said in the preseason this is going to be a team that's going to fight and scratch and claw and battle. What was it like to kind of have to see that in the first half where shots aren't falling, offense really isn't flowing? You just really had to kind of grind it out until you found the rhythm.
That was it. I wish I was John Wooden, right? And I had like this pyramid with like 99 different things. But like my pyramid has 4 things. And the bottom of it says daily improvement. The second one says win the next game 1 possession at a time. And that's all I wanted those guys to do, right? Like I thought to start the game, every shot that we took was trying to be a 10-point shot. Like we were so wound up and so like tight, and then when they started scoring, we tried to hit 10-pointers, right? And that's not how you win. Like you got to win it 1 possession at a time, one after another, and you string stops together and you string buckets together. But we haven't had to do that. We haven't had to do it. We didn't have to do it in that secret scrimmage. Like as good as our secret scrimmage opponent was, we played. There was no adversity in that game. Like we played free. We got what we wanted, right? Same exact thing in our exhibition. Now a team gets a chance to – they probably got a chance to prepare for us more than we got a chance to prepare for them, just because of how we play, right? It's very similar to how we played at Penn State. Like they ran some similar stuff, but – they got like 9 new dudes. We were watching personnel, and it's like 15 different schools, man. Like there was a Brother Rice gym in there that popped up one time, right? Like you're trying to prepare, and it's really hard, and we had to trust our system, and we're not super, super detailed at our system yet. We will be as the games go by. But I thought we did show some toughness and a level of toughness for getting some stops, getting some rebounds, holding our ground and not getting beat up in the paint a couple times. And, we won it. We won it. One possession at a time.
Micah, you inherited a program that didn't have a great depth of understanding when it came to defensive basketball. You held them down the stretch in the last 4 minutes, scoreless until the very end. Where have you seen the most improvement in that area, and where do you still need to go specifically, some of the things?
Yeah, it's like your team gets better when you go through tough things together, right? Like, it's one thing to be running the steps of the stadium in July, but it's another thing to be down in the home opener and you got to grind it out and win. Right now, there's like to do it like that, right? Like I said, we played really well in our scrimmage and our exhibition, which gave us hope that we could score, right? Like, man, okay, if we do these things, we can score. But this gave us hope that we can get stops when we need to. And different guys did it, right? Like, there were a lot of guys that were, like, wanting to take on a challenge. Like, I thought Julian Roper a few times raised his hand to say, I'll take him, right? He wanted to guard him. I was telling Jack that Logan Imes I'm yelling at Coach Fairley to put Logan Imes on that kid, because he's tough as nails, man, and I've seen him guard. I know he's going to fight through screens, and he's not like he's going to keep going. Like, I've seen that toughness from him. Like, Markus has some toughness to him. Like, now we start to get a little bit of belief of, like, we don't have to make shots, right? What were we, 3 for 17 from 3? Like, we don't have to make shots to win. We make shots, good night. We don't have to make shots to win. We can knuckle up, and we can get stops, and we can get the job done in the same exact way. Actually in practice on Saturday. So we didn't even get any time to really practice without him. Like one practice session yesterday, which is the day before a game. So you're not really doing a whole lot. So I'm proud of those guys for adjusting, right? Like, it put more onus on Zona. Like, Kerry Booth hadn't practiced at the 5 since he's gotten here. And he gets one practice and comes in and does an admirable job on both ends. And what they were doing was so completely different than anything we've practiced. So now they're outside of our system, and we're trying to play on the fly. So hats off to those guys. I think, Keba's probably, like, not day-to-day, but it's not a super bad, like, there's a guy from Georgetown was like 4 to 6 weeks. Like, it's not that bad. It's a hand injury, yeah. So, like, we'll be without him, but we don't know how long until we get some kind of better read on everything in the next couple of days. So, I'm proud of those guys for stepping up. I thought, Zona played 16 minutes and 5 rebounds. Kerry played 21 minutes and got 9 rebounds. Like, I thought those guys played really big for us.
Coach, you pretty much had to assemble this roster on the fly the moment you walked in here. What's the challenge for that like, and how do you define success with this particular group of guys?
Playing hard every single day. Like, if we do that, right? Like, if we're getting better every single day and we're trying to win the next game one possession at a time, success is going to happen. Like, I'm not like I didn't come in here thinking like we were going to beat Niagara by 40 points tonight. I knew how good Niagara was going to be, and I know how young we are, right? So, like, every game's going to be tough for us. Every single game. Like, we don't have a huge margin for error. So our details got to be really good. Like, our discipline's got to be really good. And if we're doing that, we'll have success. Like, I'm not I'm not putting numbers on anything. I want to play our best basketball in March, and we're a long way from it. but you see signs of us like having success and doing good things together on offense and defense. So I don't know what that is. I'll let you know at the end of the year if we had success or not. Because like if we're not guarding the way we're supposed to, I'm gonna come in here and tell you this was a failure, right? Like I'm not against saying it. Honesty is probably my greatest strength and greatest weakness.
But you referenced the youth of this team just a moment ago. Obviously, a squad that had never played a game together. So what do you attribute the team having that resolve, having that poise to stay steady tonight, find a way to come back and win?
Just some toughness. I think they go through tough things together, right? They go through tough things together every day in the practice session with me. Sometimes they probably feel like practice is harder than the games. They also probably we've got like celebrating the games because they don't have to do closeout drills for a long time, right? They don't have to do all these defensive drills for an hour to start practice, right? So they're probably like, man, we get to play offense today? How fun is this? Right? Like that's where it comes from. Just the daily grind of what we're doing. It's not easy. It is not easy to play the way I'm asking them to play. But they come in with joy every single day. They come in and play with some unity, with some passion. And that, like, when you're doing it together, when you celebrate each other's success, right? Like I talked about Markus, like, setting the record tonight. And you should have seen his teammates and how they all ran over to him and jumped on top of him and like all like they didn't care. Like they weren't sitting there like, man, I only got 2 shots and he got 20. They didn't care. They cared that we won. They care that he helped us, and they care about like, man, maybe the next time is my night. And when you celebrate each other like that, that's when you start to build some resolve and build some team.
What have you seen in Markus that you knew he possessed the right characteristics to let him not only have a record-setting night, but to be fearless in the process?
Yeah, I thought he struggled early, but it was something new, right? Like how they came out and how they guarded us was new, and like those are going to be adjustments that he has to make on the fly, right, and in front of everybody. I get it. Like I know exactly what he's going through. 2 years ago, I was first-year head coach, coaching in the Big Ten in front of everybody, right? Like every mistake is talked about. Every mistake seems huge, and this is a freshman point guard. And at home, I was 8 hours from my home doing all that, right? But, like, he's at home and doing this. Like, I thought he got off to a little bit of a slow start, but he showed his toughness when he just kept going and kept going and kept going. They took away what we want to do, how we want to play. They forced us to play one-on-one, right? That's why we only got 9 assists. We're not a 9-assist team. Like, we're a high teens to 20-assist team. But how they game plan for us, they force it in the one-on-one game. And I know one thing, he's a good one-on-one player.
Micah, what were some of the adjustments, if there weren't adjustments, the points of emphasis at halftime?
I thought, like, they tried to take us out of our movement stuff. And, like, that's the thing that, like, sometimes I struggle with is you want to get to matchups and then you want to get to some driving kicks and some one-on-one kind of stuff when they start switching and putting people in different places, right? So it's easy to try and get a matchup and then attack one-on-one, but it doesn't allow ball movement, right? It's hard for me to feel good about myself if I haven't touched the ball in 5 possessions, right? So that's why we do so much movement stuff. That's why we swing it and we go screen and we cut and we move it to the next guy, move it to the second side, and everybody's touching it. Now our pace is good and it's hard to keep up with. They took that away from us. We tried to go to it early in the second half, and we got some layups. We got some cuts. We got some layups. We got some open drives. So that was on me. I got to be better at getting us into more of that stuff instead of bailing on it so quick because of how they played. So kudos to our guys for continuing to execute the game plan, execute what we practiced, even though they tried to take that stuff away. And, even despite their coach, they were pretty good.
Do you have a message for any IU South Bend people who were there tonight?
It's really cool for me. I appreciate everybody that showed up, man. Everybody, right? I I asked people to just give us a chance, and I thought this crowd was great in who showed up. I thought our student turnout was really good. I get so locked into what's happening, I don't notice the crowd and how loud it gets. But as I was walking off, somebody told me, like, man, it got pretty loud in here at times. And I appreciate our fans for that so much, right? Like, they didn't have to come. They didn't have to come. They didn't have to cheer. They didn't have to do any of that, right? Like, sometimes, some places make you prove it, make you earn it. They didn't. They showed up. And, I hope they respected how we played, because that's all we're trying to do, man. We're trying to make them proud. We're trying to make all these former players that I've talked to, that I got texts from today and leading up to today, like, we're trying to make those guys proud, and we're trying to represent and make anybody that's wearing that Notre Dame, we're trying to make them proud with our effort, how we play, the togetherness that we play. And I hope we did that today.
Where's the game ball going for you?
I don't know. I don't
Got
know.
a spot picked out?
Absolutely not. No. I'm all I'm worried about is this one's over. I'm gonna go, like, do my due diligence and take pictures with my wife and the family on the court, because she says every first game we always have to do it. And it's my mom's birthday today, so I'm gonna go take some pictures with her and celebrate with her, and then I'm gonna watch this film, have another Dr. Pepper. And then I'm going to start preparing for Western Carolina.
Those last 25, 28 minutes, even when Markus had the M1, you were fired up, Markus was fired up. Is that what you wanted these fans to see in terms of what you want Notre Dame basketball to be moving forward?
I'm just being me. I only know one way, man. I'm a hard charger when that game starts, and I wear my emotions on my sleeves. So I'm stomping up and down that sideline, man, trying to fire our guys up, trying to fire up the crowd, like trying to fire the officials up. Whoever's in my way, I'm trying to fire them up, because that's the only way I know how to go, man. I'm a super competitor, and if we're playing that game of basketball, we're playing the game of horse, we're playing checkers, man, I'm trying to win every single time.
The style of play too over those last 25-ish minutes, that's what you want these fans to see.
We were gutsy. They made big shots, right? Guys that, like, you're not expecting, right? They got some big dudes that, like, I'm looking at the stats, like, these dudes have made threes in their career, and they're stepping out making threes, making jumpers, and, like, we still would come down the next possession and get stopped, right? Our guys didn't panic, and they just stayed with it, and then, you do that. The game honors toughness, man. So the ball bounced our way a couple times when it wasn't supposed to. That's because we were doing the job. We were doing what we were supposed to. We were playing the right way, and the game usually honors that.
Micah, final question right here. Micah, you guys went into halftime with the only offensive board in the game. How do you try to find more of those second chance opportunities?
It's got to bounce the right way. I'm so worried about transition defense that it depends on who's in the game, who goes to the glass. We got to watch it a little bit to see if the guys that are supposed to rebound are going, right? And that becomes an emphasis for us. That's something that we got to go back and watch more film to see if we are doing our job. We grade it, like rebounding. Are you doing your job? Like, shot goes up, are you boxing out or not boxing out? Shot goes up, are you getting back on defense, or are you going to the glass? So they'll see it tomorrow. Right, and that you just make an emphasis of it every single time, because little things like that sometimes win, sometimes lead to some really big possessions.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.